that is crazy.
You guys as comedians, I mean, I don't know which way direction we're going here. Is that you know, with Chris Rock getting assaulted on stage by Will Smith, you brought up Will Smith, Free Will.
Yeah.
You know, as a comedian, is this a concern of yours that someone coming up, and you're an insult comic, I mean, if you look at your Wikipedia, not sure if you've seen it recently, bro, you're known as an insult comic.
Yeah, no doubt.
Is this something that you are even more concerned about these days? Is what schmucks in the audience just walking up, non-Will Smith style?
You know what I'm concerned with is not anything physical. It's the recording of sets, putting things out of context.
100%.
You know, that's the new scum of the earth to me. Is people, it's that guy that got punched by Tyson is obviously, now that I didn't even know there was that second angle of him playing to his buddy that's across. He's saying, film me, do this, and this is the weird 100%. World that we live in. What Will Smith did was Will Smith being, you know, mentally unhealthy and blatantly a victim of whatever Jada's putting him through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about...
But I'm not afraid of physical things. What bothers me is people recording sets and the potential of putting those out without context, the potential of sending it through an editing bay and turning down the volume of laughter in a situation of a live show.
Tony, I mean...
People do that.
Messing with clips.
Oh,
hell yeah. What happened to me, the guy that wanted to get famous from it, in an interview, because he did so many interviews, he ended up admitting publicly that he edited the video and he decided when he was going to release it, which isn't even completely true because the Chinese government accidentally released it before he woke up the day that he was supposed to. Something super...
So talk about that. What happened with that?
Well, I woke up that morning and it was... What's weird is I had a crazy nightmare that woke me up at like 5 a.m., which is a rare thing in itself. And it was weird. Had my childhood home in it. It was just a weird morning. And I roll over, you know how sometimes you don't really want to look at your phone. You're just making sure nothing crazy's happening. And sure enough, I was just awake enough to make it from my text messages, from my email to Twitter. I'm like, I'll check Twitter real quick.
Yeah.
And that minute, like a few minutes before, someone's like, all of these like out of... like not making sense tweets, racist, you racist, up, fucked. And I'm like, wait, what? And it's like, what? Career done, dork, loser. And I'm like, what is this all mean?
Happened?
And so I end up clicking on one of the tweets and clicking on the person's profile, right, to see what, maybe there's a tweet that they had from minutes before. And it was the video that ended up being released by him, the one that supposedly went viral, hours later with English subtitles, but this was the same exact video with Chinese subtitles, colored the exact same as the video that he edited and put out. Yeah. So he made a version with English subtitles and Chinese subtitles, sent the Chinese subtitles to the Chinese whoever, news, government. There's no difference between the two, as we know. Yeah. And they released it first. He must have slept in, maybe drank too much the night before, had a night, because he ended up not posting his thing until 11 a.m. Meanwhile, it was coming out of China at 5 a.m. And I have screenshots to prove all of that. You know what I mean? Because I'm literally like, what is this crazy Chinese video of my set? It's a workout set from last Thursday. I did an entire weekend of shows, hour-long sets in other cities that weekend somewhere else. Yeah. Like, I'm like, why is my workout set, my riffing, where I try new things and take major chances at a comfortable home club in my home city? Yeah. Like, why is this even out there? And then I realized at 11 a.m. when he posts, this is what happened to me, Happy Asian Heritage Month. Wow. Tony Hinchcliffe did this to me. And he hashtagged like all of these Asian awareness, Asian hate things.
What happened to you the next day? Like, what happened career-wise? Did that help you? Did that hurt you?
At the very, very time, it hurt me like immediately because I mean, at the time, every news source is basically telling a wrong side of the story, and immediately you're like, how do I handle this? And there's ways, right? So half of your friends are saying, whatever you do, don't apologize. The other half are like, you have to apologize. One half is like, you need to just give an explanation of what happened. I can't believe this guy did this to you.
What's
You're
your
an
publicist
insult
saying?
comedian.
I'm curious. What is the publicist
I
saying?
had a manager, a lawyer, I don't exactly have a publicist, but my lawyer called me immediately and he's like, you need to talk to, I have on the other line, I'm patching you in with the biggest crisis management lawyer professional right now. I'm patching him in. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hear what this guy has to say.
Yeah, right.
And this fucking guy, let me tell you what being canceled's like. This fucking guy knows what he's doing and probably does this all the time, right? He's like, I know what you're going through, Tony, and I'm gonna save you. You have to give me 15,000 now, and then you'll give me 15,000 tomorrow when you see results. And then if things are still bad, you'll give me another 15 on the third day.
Exactly.
I'm like, this
what
guy,
happened to you?
this guy's already at 50,000. This is
Jesus
already the
Christ.
biggest bill for any employee that I've ever
And has he given you
had.
any advice thus far? Like, what is he saying at this
That's
point?
what's funny is he's got nothing. He's literally, I'm literally like, what can you do? He's like, well, I can get out ahead of this. I can call the news sources and make sure that they don't post. I go, what if the news sources don't even know about this yet? Are you going to inform them that this is a breaking story? Yeah. He had no answer to that. I go, if I ignore this completely, isn't that the way to do it? And he goes, well, it's a major, major risk. Could be the end. But these guys, they're used to politicians. They're used to actors and actual crimes, mind you.
Right.
Not a comedian making fun of another comedian at a comedy show where they're warned beforehand. You're going to hear things that are out of order. Recording is not allowed. All of these aspects are in play. So these crisis lawyer crazy people are used to dealing with politicians that actually fucked up. Or people that aren't comedians messing up. I mean, the craziest part to me, proof that news is at its lowest point ever, is that if you Googled me that day as a journalist reporting on what you're seeing, exactly what you just said a few minutes ago is true, which is my Wikipedia, and I think it's changed since then. I think it now says an American comedian.
Yeah, but just scroll down a little bit further.
Before that, literally when this happened, it said Tony Hinchcliffe, because I remember it goes, Tony Hinchcliffe is an American insult comedian that blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's changed now.
And anybody can
you see right there as an insult
line.
comedian.
Yeah.
But dude,
but it was originally, here's how crazy this is, because I remember it was originally the first line right after birthday. Hinchcliffe is an American insult comedian, because I always thought it was weird. I'm like, American insult comedian, what does this even mean?
And did you ever think of yourself as that, or just I'm a comedian, bro?
I'm a comedian.
I talk shit. This is what I do.
The only people that bring up that I'm an insult comedian are the people that read my Wikipedia before I come in and do a podcast.
Well, look, let's address this head on, because I used to do stand-up comedy many years ago. Vinny's a stand-up comedian. Pat is as great a storyteller as it comes. He just hasn't been on stage yet. I had heard of your name peripherally. Like I've followed Segura for years, and obviously Rogan, and I've heard of your name. I've made obscure stuff, but I wasn't like, all right, what does Tony stand for? What do you talk about?
Right.
And then boom, this thing hit the atmosphere.
That's what I stand for. Is
exactly
is that type of insanity to where either you're loving it or you're pissed off because you don't know that I'm doing what I strategically do. Like, that is my art form, is crazy ass shit, like to the brim. Like, not every comedian. What's crazy is that if it had been a clean to an extreme, we could say Brian Regan or Jim Gaffigan. If he did that, that's crazy.
Well, if you enjoyed this short clip, click over here to watch another short clip. And if you want to watch the entire episode, the entire podcast, click here.